Millions of incredible antique artifacts have helped us understand the lives of our ancestors from many millennia ago. However, some stand out due to their distinction, intrigue, or capacity to increase our knowledge of hitherto undiscovered facets of our history. Most likely, you've heard of and seen King Tut's mask and the Dead Sea Scrolls. However, you'd better become familiar with their backstories if you want to defeat your family on Jeopardy! Welcome back, everyone! In today's video, we will share some ancient artifacts that will blow your mind away. Let's begin! Venus of Willendorf. Venus of Willendorf, a short, chubby woman about 30,000 years old, is the female embodiment of the Ice Age. The 4-inch tall statuette lacks feet and facial characteristics, but it has clearly defined breasts, buttocks, a tummy, and vaginal lips. Her head is covered in braids, or perhaps a knit cap, and color dots indicate the tan limestone relic was previously red. Archaeologists discovered the figurine in 1908, a week or so into their excavations at Willendorf II, an Austrian site along the Danube River about 50 miles outside of Vienna. Numerous further digs during the 1900s and 2000s constantly used better techniques, which turned up hundreds of stone tools and 2 less well-known Venus statues. Nearly 200 comparable statuettes from sites dating from 23,000 to 40,000 years ago have been discovered throughout Europe. The original sculptors of these objects lived at least 20 millennia before classical Rome, even though current researchers refer to them as Venuses after the Roman goddess of love and fertility. Researchers have suggested that these figurines may have been used as fertility symbols, self-portraits, or erotic objects, but it is unclear why Ice Age people sculpted them. In any case, the alleged sex attraction was short-lived. In a 2011 poll of 161 undergraduates, Venus of Willendorf scored an average score of 0.14 on a 5-point scale from least attractive to most attractive. Olmec Colossal Heads. The Olmec civilization, sometimes referred to as the mother culture of Mesoamerica, emerged from the swampy woodlands of the Mexican Gulf Coast between 400 and 1400 BC. A farmer discovered a massive stone head while excavating the same area more than 2,000 years later in AD 1862. It was the first of 17 such heads that have not yet been found, but are believed to be portraits of Olmec kings. Each of the enormous statues is more than an elephant's weight and ranges in height from 5 to 10 feet. They depict stern males with flat noses, swollen lips, and almond-shaped eyes. The theory that the carved boulders represent certain leaders is supported by the fact that each head supports a distinctive countenance, expression, and headgear. The foothills of the Tuts Mountains, which supplied the basalt stone used to create them, are where the first unintentional discovery occurred. It was at Tres Zapotes. But later, archaeologists found most of the heads at the former capitals of San Lorenzo and La Venta, some 60 miles from the basalt source. Although undoubtedly time-consuming, it still needs to be discovered how the Olmec moved these enormous boulders, which were then decorated and placed on display in important plazas. Additionally, numerous heads appear to have been smashed and buried in the distant past, prompting some archaeologists to hypothesize that ancient humans destroyed old statues on purpose as new tyrants ascended to power. Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, Muhammad ad-Dib, a Bedouin shepherd, searched the craggy rocks surrounding the Dead Sea for a goat that had gone missing. What began as a goat hunt resulted in one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. Ad-Dib discovered the first of the more than 1,000 scribbled texts that make up the Dead Sea Scrolls in a small cave. They were penned in clay jars between 300 BC and 70 AD. Some 230 of the scrolls include tales from the Hebrew Bible or the Old Testament of Christianity, even though these copies most likely predate the creation of the Bible. The remaining ones contain additional religious writings such as prayers, rules, and hymns. Researchers have, over the years, found a considerable number of additional scrolls from 12 caves adjacent to the initial trove and a few farther off locations. Due to the salty desert atmosphere, some scrolls did not degrade. The majority, comprising a corpus of more than 25,000 pieces of papyrus and parchment, however, decomposed. King Tut's funerary mask. Most people think of King Tutankhamun's funeral mask when you mention the word pharaoh. The wrapped mummy of the Egyptian monarch, who passed away in 1323 BC at the age of 19 after reigning for only 10 years, was topped by a 24-pound facial facsimile. Lapis lazuli, turquoise, and other semi-precious stones sparkle on the solid gold foundation. The deities Vulture and Cobra, who jointly represented the unity of Lower and Upper Egypt, are depicted on the forehead and sprout a tube-shaped beard on the chin. In 1922, British archaeologist Howard Carter found King Tut's nearly intact tomb in the Valley of the Kings, a royal cemetery by the Nile River. This discovery brought the mask back into the public eye. Most Egyptian royal tombs have been looted throughout history by both ancient and modern robbers. Therefore, Tut's burial chamber was the first to show the incredible wealth the pharaohs stole from their graves. Rosetta Stone. The Rosetta Stone, a priestly decree published on the first anniversary of King Ptolemy V's coronation and announcing the divine cult of the monarch, is a dull read. However, the message was written 3 times into the black stone, once in Greek, once in official Egyptian hieroglyphs, and once in its less formal cursive demotic alphabet. And thanks to the bilingual tri-script inscription, the decipherment of Egyptian hieroglyphs made all the texts of the ancient civilization accessible. French soldiers fighting for Napoleon in Egypt discovered the artifact in 1799. After British forces defeated the French in 1801, the artifact wound up in London. As soon as they understood ancient Greek, academics and the general public realized the stone's potential for deciphering hieroglyphs. However, Jean-François Champollion would need another 20 years to crack the code. The artifact, which stands 3 feet 9 inches tall and weighs 1,680 pounds, is presently the most viewed item in the British Museum. However, over time, around a third of its weight has been lost. The full text of the ordnance is still available though, as it is present on other monuments. Terracotta Army. Imagine building your tomb over more than 30 years while enjoying unrestricted money, authority, and a yearning for immortality. Even then, your tomb might not have been as impressive as the structure built by Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor to rule a united China from 210 to 221 BC. According to historic Chinese sources, the site, which is 22 square miles in size and much larger than most college campuses, all but 3 in the US in fact, was constructed with the help of more than 700,000 laborers. The site features bronze waterfowl in canals that resemble dioramas, carriages with gold ornamentation, and sculptures of dancers and acrobats. Its most famous feature is perhaps the Terracotta Army, a legion of life-sized clay soldiers lined trenches in military formation. The first statue was discovered in 1974 by farmers digging a well. Since then, 2,000 more troops have been discovered due to 3 big excavations, and another 6,000 more are likely still buried. Each figure appears to be a real soldier in Qin Shi Huang's army based on the characteristic hairdos, headgear, tunics, facial hair, and functional bronze weapons that are still astonishingly sharp today. According to a 2014 study published in the Journal of Archaeological Science, even their ears are unusual. That is all for this video. We will be back soon with another informative video. Don't forget to like and share this video. Until the next time!